3 months ago, I had a fight with my husband. I had been asking him to clean and declutter his messy home office for weeks, and my patience was diminishing. That's what started the fight. Later, I sat in bed and cried for hours, first trying to process my anger and frustration, and then, because the floodgates had opened, I cried for other reasons, like I was missing my late dad. It wasn't until I journaled and put my feelings on paper that I felt better. And not only did I feel better, I also came to an amazing aha moment about my relationship with my husband, which I'm going to share with you in this video, which is about why I journal. Hi, this is Supreet. I'm an engineer turned leadership trainer. I upload videos about personal growth, meditation, and occasionally parenting. So here are 8 reasons why I journal. Reason number 1, I journal for my mental health. The biggest thing you can do for your mental health is to practice gratitude. And on most days, I would say 95% of the day, all I do on my journal is I write down about 5 specific things that I'm grateful for that day. Gratitude is not only good for your mental health, it's also good for your physical health because the mind and body are connected. If you want to know specific examples of things I write down in my gratitude journal, the video link is in the description. Gratitude journaling is like daily therapy. It keeps me sane. How do you think I got through 2020? So on most days, all I do is gratitude journaling for 1 or 2 minutes. But on days where I'm dealing with a problem or a difficult situation, I will journal for maybe 10 minutes or more to help me process that problem and deal with it. Like the fight I mentioned at the beginning of this video. When I was journaling about the fight, in the beginning, I was just venting out my anger and frustration and writing about that. But then I started to look at the situation from my husband's point of view. I tried to do a psychoanalysis of him and figure out why is he wanting to hold on to the things instead of selling or donating them. I kept on writing and then I started to point the finger at myself and I questioned whether my nagging of him is making the situation better or worse. More writing. Until finally I arrived at the realization and aha moment that if I can only love him if he keeps his home office clean, then my love for him is most certainly conditional. I asked myself, can I love him unconditionally? The answer is, it's pretty darn hard, but I can try. I have been trying, and we haven't fought for the last 3 months. And I'm not trying to say that fights and arguments in a relationship are a bad thing, not at all. In fact, I think they are a healthy part of any good relationship. They're a normal part of a healthy relationship. Marriages are supposed to be messy. This reminds me of a quote I really like. Relationships are like a walk in the park. Jurassic Park. That was reason number 1 for journaling. I do it for my mental health. I'm going to go through reasons 2 to 6 much faster, and I have saved my most embarrassing story for the end of this video. Reason number 2. So many self-help books talk about the benefits of journaling. For example, the recent ones which I read were Think Like a Monk and Personality Isn't Permanent. I consider books to be my mentors, so when I hear so many different authors saying the same thing, I tend to get convinced. Reason number 3. So many people that I admire, respect, and follow practice journaling. For example, Mel Robbins, author Ryan Holiday. In fact, journaling is a key ingredient of Stoicism, which is an ancient Greek philosophy and way of life. I quite like Stoicism, so if you want me to make a video about it, do let me know. Reason number 4 is to avoid emotional eating. This is a whole topic in itself, so if you want me to make a video about how to journal to avoid emotional eating, do let me know. Reason number 5 is to encourage my kids to journal. I believe in teaching by example rather than authority because I've tried it and authority and lecturing does not work. So my kids do not do regular journaling at this time, but I'm planting the seeds. Reason number 6, Writing improves my thinking. Many times I get my creative ideas from my videos while journaling. The seventh reason why I journal is to get clarity of mind. Recently, I felt disrespected by someone. I processed my resentment for days. I couldn't get that person out of my head. I couldn't get myself to confront them either because I'm a conflict avoider and a people pleaser, something that I'm trying very hard to change, but sometimes I succeed and sometimes I fail. So my confusion was that being on a spiritual path, my spiritual side was telling me to just let this go and that this is just my ego which got hurt and just to show love and kindness to that person. But then on the other hand, I also don't want that person walking over me and taking advantage of me because I am loving and kind. By journaling and digging deeper and deeper, I got some clarity and I came to the conclusion that I need to set boundaries with this person. Journaling helped me to convince myself that setting boundaries does not make me mean. Setting boundaries is not anti-spiritual. It just means that I love myself as much as I love the other person. So journaling helps me navigate my way out of the confusing conundrums of life. I'm still very confused about a lot of things, by the way. This is the thing about being on a growth journey. The more you learn, the more you question your already existing beliefs and the more confused you get. But that's okay. I think this is a good kind of confusion. I'd rather be friends with someone who is humble enough to admit that they are confused than someone who claims to know everything and have all the answers. Reason number 8, to improve my self-awareness. And this is the juicy, embarrassing story that you've been waiting for. Before the pandemic, in February 2020, we had some friends over for dinner. I had prepared some dishes and my husband made a curry chicken. And we had a great time. We played games, we laughed with our friends. The kids had so much fun with their friends. And when the party was over, I knew that something was off with me. Usually I'm very happy at the end of a party because I love hosting, but that time it was a bit different. And even the next morning when I woke up, I couldn't figure out why am I feeling like this. So I tried to journal to get to the root cause of my happiness. So how I do that is by asking myself why multiple times and then trying to peel off the layers and get to the root cause of my unhappiness. I'm so embarrassed to admit that the root cause of my unhappiness was that my husband's curry chicken was the star of the show. I got compliments for my dishes too, but people couldn't stop raving about his frickin' curry chicken. I had done 80% of the work for the party, but he got 80% of the compliments. Oh my gosh, I felt so small and so childish when I realized that this is what was making me unhappy. I love my husband and I'm so proud of his cooking and I want him to get compliments. So now what was bothering me was that here I was thinking that, oh, because of all my meditation and all the personal growth books I read, I have risen above validation seeking and approval addiction. But journaling had made me realize that I still had a massive need for approval. If I hadn't journaled, I would not have learned that about myself. So journaling helps you with self-awareness, and self-awareness is the first step towards self-improvement. On that day when I journaled and I learned about my need for approval addiction, I feel like just learning that was winning half the battle. And since that day, I think my need for approval has gone down. It probably would not go away entirely, but just knowing that it exists is winning half the battle. You know what would be really funny? If those friends that were invited to the party, if some of them are watching this video and at the next party that we host, which who knows when that will be, if they show up and they start giving me extra compliments, even fake ones, just because now they know how fragile my ego is. Calm down, friends. That incident was a year ago. I have become so much more mature since then. I have grown, okay? I don't need your validation anymore. But please give this video a thumbs up. To really get the benefits of journaling, you have to do it the right way. Very soon, I'll be uploading a video where I talk about how I journal, my exact process, including all the tips and tricks. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that video. Stay safe and keep growing. Before I say anything, so when I hear the okay, after think like a monk and personality is permanent, then I will say, know all the answers, know everything and have all. Okay, so maybe I'll start from, but this is a good kind of, no, maybe I'll start from, I'd rather be friends with someone who is humble enough. ठीक है. I'd rather be friends with someone who